Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Saturday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today we're probably going to be taking a look at, not probably, we are taking a look at a beer from, I would say, Illinois is one of their top breweries in the state, I would say. When it comes to popularity and all that stuff, you think of names like Goose Island, you think of names like Lagunitas, and you think of names like Revolution Brewing Company. And today we got a special one from them because they do a barley wine called the Straight Jacket, and it's I guess you could say it's pretty difficult to get. It's definitely very limited when it comes to availability, and so they decided to come out with a variant of that same beer called the Strawberry Jacket. It's a barley wine ale with strawberries, obviously, and you guys know by now I absolutely love barley wines. It's a great style of beer when it comes to heavy maltiness. There's definitely booziness, because most of the time you're going to have a barley wine, it's going to be pretty boozy just because it's going to be a higher ABV. Just because a lot of the times barley wines are aged at some point in a bourbon barrel or any kind of like a whiskey alcohol kind of barrel. It can be aged in all kinds of stuff. So this one is aged in, I believe, bourbon barrels as well. So this one comes in at a 14.2% ABV. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a boozy one for sure. But I'm excited about this one. I've never had the actual Straight Jacket, but I've heard really good things about this one. At some point, I think I've heard this one is actually more difficult to get than the regular Straight Jacket. So I'm glad I got my hands on this one. Plus, it's Revolution Brewing. They kind of have a style that they like to do on their cans, which is like almost like anti-establishment kind of art sometimes, but they kind of put their own swing on it, and I think it's really, really cool. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose. Of course, when it comes to barley wines, expecting a really kind of heavy malt profile to it. Of course, the strawberries are going to probably add sweetness. It's going to be boozy. I'm probably going to be tasting the whiskey and the bourbon, all that kind of stuff. Plus, I'm kind of see if you get a little bit of like the oakiness coming through, but who knows? Let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose with this guy. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, holy crap. Smells heavily on the strawberry up front. Definitely getting like almost like a boozy kind of oaky kind of note as well. Yeah, this smells absolutely delicious. So you're gonna be drinking this out of my Riverlands little tulip glass this afternoon. Let's see how this thing pours. Oh yeah, I knew for a fact this one was gonna be dark. Well, barley wines are usually pretty dark. Sometimes they get to the point to where they look like a stout sometimes, but this is almost to that point. Definitely like a lighter brown situation like that, almost like a reddish kind of hue to it, like a pinkish red, but it's still getting a lot of strawberry on there. A really, really strong note of sweetness coming through up front. Yeah, that smells absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. So let's give this guy a try and see what it's all about. So cheers, everybody. Happy Saturday. Ooh, that strawberry is nice. Very nice. Okay. So, what they say about this one, they say it's a little bit of a drier kind of barley wine, which I can definitely agree with. It's definitely not as syrupy as some barley wines that I've had. Definitely more of an effervescence, a little bit of a carbonation kind of feel to it, so I can definitely see that dryness that they're describing. The strawberry in here is absolutely fantastic. I think they used a very, very large amounts of probably strawberry puree to kind of make this, and sometimes with adding strawberries they could a little bit lighter on flavor, do it not being such like a pungent kind of fruit. But I think there's a perfect amount of strawberry in this one to where it's almost jammy, to where it kind of tastes like a strawberry jam mixed with barley wine. Who knows, they could have added puree, they could have added actual strawberry jam, they could have added fresh strawberries, they could use concentrates as well, because that's something that people do as well. But I think the strawberry flavor in this beer is absolutely fantastic. Plus, you're getting all the malt flavors when it comes to the barley. Of course, is a heavily kind of, since it's a barley wine, there's three different, actually, yeah, there's like, I think with 3 or 4 different kinds of styles of this kind of wine. It's a very, very old style of brewing when it comes to making like a barley wine, an oat wine, a wheat wine, all the kind of stuff. All of them are very, very different just because each grain brings off a different flavor. Of course, barley is very, very, there's sweetness to it, as I think comes through really well, plus the balance that you could add to it by using the different kinds of grain that you're adding into the grain bill. But Overall, I think Revolution did an absolutely fantastic job with this one. I'm really, really enjoying this. There's so many like strawberry jam like flavors coming through on this one. It's boozy in the sense of it's going to be a boozy beer just because it's a barley wine and it's because it's 14.2%. So definitely getting a good booziness. So let's look over here at Untapped, and of course you can find a link to the page for this beer down in the description below as well. You can look at today's beer on Untapped if you want to follow along. But the Strawberry Jacket, of course, the 2021 release. I'm not sure if they've done a 2022 release yet. That's probably going to be a little bit later on in the year. But, of course, if you can't get your hands on anything from Revolution Brewing Company, which I think, if I remember correctly, Revolution has a pretty good distribution outside of the state. I would say whenever you go to anywhere in Chicago, if you've been to Chicago and you're a craft beer fan, you've most likely had something from Revolution because they do beers like the Anti-Hero. They have like their almost like military hero line. That's just a bunch of IPAs, so they do a lot of good stuff with that. And they're just making a lot of good beer. And I know they're served at a lot of ball games when it comes to baseball and all kinds of sports within the Chicagoland area. So they're pretty popular in that aspect as well. But if you can't get your hands on this stuff, Untapped is a really cool thing to where they show similar beers to this, where maybe we might be able to find one kind of similar that you may have heard of or maybe you'll get your hands on. So let's take a look here. We got one here from a good crew over in Indiana at Three Floyds. We got their Behemoth, which is an American barley wine. It's okay, but that one has a lot of more complex caramel notes. You're still going to probably get a decent amount of sweetness. So yeah, I would say the Behemoth is going to be similar, of course, with those. A lot of barley wines definitely have similar flavors to it when it comes to just the barley they use, and then sometimes they'll do a little bit different depending on the barrel that they age it in and all that kind of stuff. So, and then we got one here from Ingenious Brewing Company, which is their apple brandy barrel aged apple fritter, which sounds amazing. Ingenious did a 12% American barley wine aged in 18 months on condition on apples. So I think that one's also going to give a nice sweetness. It's definitely going to have a little bit of a fruity kind of note due to it aging on apples and all that kind of stuff. So let's see here. And the last one I'm going to do is, I'm not really going to mention this one because it's their Maple Jacket, which is probably their maple kind of straight jacket variant of their barley wine. But if you can't get your hands on this one, you most likely can't get your hands on the Maple Jacket either. So, and of course, there's definitely a difference when it comes to an American barley wine and an English barley wine, which this is more of that English kind of barley wine style. And I know, Ian, you probably had a few English barley wines in your day, and I don't know if you've had any American ones, but there's definitely there's a little bit of a difference when it comes to how the flavors are and how the mouthfeel is and everything. I would say there's a good possibility to where an English barley wine may be a little bit syrupy. I've had a few to where it has that kind of drier kind of mouthfeel to it. But overall, they're definitely similar in style, but you could definitely tell which is which when it comes to an English barley wine and an American barley wine. So, let's see here. Let's look on Untapped here, and let's actually read the description of this guy and see what it shows here. So, it says, yes, Strawberry Jacket, a slightly drier blend of bourbon and rye whiskey barrel English barley wines, aged 18 months, provides a base for a delicate nuances of fresh strawberry to shine while retaining the same balance that we expect of our beloved straight jacket. Reminiscent of fresh, juicy strawberry atop a creme brulee, this sipper can accompany dessert or stand on its own. Now, enjoy now or store cold. So yeah, of course, barley wines are definitely, I would consider a barley wine something that's a really good aging kind of beer as well. So if you want to age it, put it in a cellar kind of situation. So you're going to want to have that, of course, be lower temp, just because when you're aging any kind of beer, you kind of want to have a little bit of a lower temp. You don't want to be too crazy warm. So, yeah, this is definitely something that I'm kind of glad I aged a little bit, because it definitely has those bourbon whiskey kind of flavors to come through a little bit more. Let's see here. Like I stated, 14.2%. And you know by now, I would not consider this sessionable one bit. I'm probably going to be feeling it after half a glass a little bit. Probably just a little bit of a warmth kind of going through, a little bit of a buzz. But that's fine. And no IB rating it shows, but with over 2,539 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.2 out of 5, which is pretty damn good for having that many check-ins. And of course, we always go through the global rating and see what people had to say, the friends rating. So let's see what anybody in my friends list have drank this one and check this one in. Of course, when I ordered this, it's weird ordering a Chicago brewery's beer from Tavour, which is a company out of Washington State, but they're able to get their hands on some stuff that I normally may not be able to get my hands on. They're able to get that kind of lower availability beers for special customers. When it comes to, like, for me, when I go on Tavour, I get secret stash stuff that comes in for specific customers who have spent a good amount of money and have used their service for a while. So I'm not sure if this is one that showed up on there, but knowing that I can get Revolution, some of the rarer stuff from Tavour, is a really cool thing, and I'm really happy that they do that. So let's see here. And when I usually order from Tavour, I usually get one for me and one for my father. So my dad drank this one, and all he had to he gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Said, "Wow, this is like a boozy strawberry jelly." Which, yeah, I can definitely see the similarities in that one. But let's look back here on the global ratings and see what other people had to say. So let's see. This person gave it a 4.25, saying LCI smells like a European bakery and tastes like a cake that would come from such. Thanks, Mike. So this guy probably got it as a gift. Let's see. This person gave it a 4.5, saying solid brew. I guess he drank this at Social Project Brewing Co., which is looks like a brewery in Arkansas. So maybe you can get it on Arkansas over there. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Another one at Social Project, didn't give it a rating. And then we got a 4.75 here saying truly exceptional. The strawberry is somehow perfectly juicy and not overly sweet. This might be the best barley wine I've ever had. So this guy really, really enjoyed it. So 4.75 from this guy. And let's see. We got a 4 here. We got another 4.75. 4.25. He drank this at Brian and Coco's Ale House, which I wonder if that's just a sports bar. It looks like in Pennsylvania. Let's see what else we got here. Let's do like 3 more. Another 4.25. Purchased at, I think he drank it at the Fairwear Beer Garden, which is in Emerson, New Jersey. And then, of course, this guy gave it a 4.25. Purchased at Revolution Production Brewery and Taproom, which is their location. I believe this is their location on Kedzie, yep, which is their brewery, the brew pub, and all that kind of stuff. So looks like back in mid-early June. Oh, no, it was only the 20th. So like 5 days ago, somebody purchased this over at the brewery itself. So this one may be available right now. Let's do 2 more. So we got one here. There's a 4.25, and the last one we're going to look at here is a full 5 out of 5, saying, well, I'm already lit up. May as well keep it rolling. Love this barley wine and its variants. So, yeah, this guy's already kind of had a few, and yeah, he's definitely going to probably wonder if he kind of got pretty damn drunk. I bet you, if you've already had a few and then you had this one, you're definitely going to be feeling it after that. But overall, yeah, pretty damn good ratings on Untappd, if I say so myself. So with all that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings over here on this guy. So let's see if I can fit the rest of it in the glass. I don't think I can. But first thing we like to look at over here is can art. And I really like what Revolution does with their can art, just because it's clean, but it also has like an appeal to it, that with it using that kind of almost like military like flyer kind of style to it when it comes to like back in during like World War II and World War I, you kind of get those flyers wanting you to join the military and all the kind of armed services out there. So they kind of bring that style to it, but also believe in their own little twist by like creating characters from it, all that kind of stuff. And then they have the Revolution kind of star. If you see right there, the star I think is usually something that tells you it's a Revolution beer. So overall, I think it's a really nice label. Of course, I see anything. It's a very distinct style that when you see it at a liquor store or bottle shop, you know it's a Revolution beer. So I really like that they've kind of created a name for themselves like that to kind of be recognizable and have that kind of marketing to where if you see this anywhere else around the country, you know exactly who it is. So their marketing team over there, when it comes to their beers and how they've kind of created characters for them, I think is a really, really cool thing that they've done. So a big shout out to Revolution on that one. So for this one, I like the strawberries. I like the barrel on there. I like having the green and the red. Of course, got the token kind of hard ass stuff that you would normally see from Revolution on their cans. Having just, I don't know, I think it's just strictly Chicago for me. It reminds me of like the hard living kind of rough neck kind of people that Chicagoans are. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. I like it. I really like it. So let's see. If I got this beer in a flight over at Revolution Brewing Company, would I get another one? Well, I definitely wouldn't have to be driving, that's for damn sure. Because I wouldn't drink one of these and go behind the wheel. That's a dumb idea. So if I got this in a flight, had a 5-ouncer, and then probably got like a 10-ounce glass of this, most likely. That's what they're serving at a brewery. Yeah, I'd definitely get another one for sure. So this is an absolutely phenomenal barley wine. I love the strawberry notes. I love that kind of sharpness that you get from the bourbon. Having that almost like drier kind of feel to it. Definitely has a little bit of a bitterness at the end. I think could be from a little bit of a smoky kind of how the inside of the bourbon barrels will char. Kind of add a little bit of bitterness from that kind of aging in the barrel situation. The strawberries have a really, really nice sweetness to it that adds sweetness to the beer. So overall, Revolution did an absolutely fantastic job with this one. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know if I'd put this up there with one of the best barley wines I've ever had, but this is definitely, I would say, with this year of barley wines that I've had, I'd probably say it's in the top 5 of barley wines that I've had this year. So take that for what it is. But overall, Revolution did a really, really good job with this one. So big shout outs to them. I would definitely like to try the other variants of the straight jacket or any other the jackets they come out with when it comes to their barley wines. So if you want to possibly get your hands on some of their stuff, I guess you can try out Tavor. Of course, I know they distribute around the country, so you could ask your local liquor store or bottle shop if their distributor carries them or if they possibly get them in. So I think you would probably be really happy with a lot of the stuff that you would get from Revolution. I think if you're watching this, you try Revolution beer, and they're making some really good beers over there. So it's definitely a brewery out of Chicago that I would recommend for anybody to visit if they're in town. It's a really, really cool location, really cool group, and just they've kind of created just a really, really cool thing over there. So big shout outs to them. But other than that, I think that's pretty much what I have. Actually, no, I got to give it a final rating. What's the final rating on this guy going to be? That's tough. Like I said, it's definitely one of the better barley wines I've had this year. I mean, I've had a few. I haven't really had a crazy amount. I would say when it comes to IPAs and sours, that's pretty much what Ben's 2022 so far. Definitely stouts in there as well. But I wouldn't say it'd be crazy on the barley wines. I've definitely had a good amount of barley wines to where I know what they taste like. So, final rating on this guy. I'm going to give this a solid... I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I think that's pretty much where I'll leave it. 9 out of 10. Really, really solid. So if you want to get your hands on this one, would definitely recommend it for sure if you can get your hands on the Strawberry Straight Jacket. It's a really, really good one. So if you're a barley wine fan, if you're more of an English barley wine kind of person, this would be right up your alley. Like the dryness and the sweetness intermingling really well is awesome. So otherwise, yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you want to follow me on all of my social media platforms when it comes to Instagram, you can see what I'm going to be reviewing that day. Of course, you'll see shenanigans, what I'm be doing at the brewery whenever I'm working. So give me a follow on Instagram. That would be great. Also, if you want to shoot me a friend request on Untapped, that'd be awesome as well. You guys hear me talk about Untapped all the time. It's a great platform. You can check in beers, get badges, all that kind of stuff. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. It's a really, really cool thing over there. So if you haven't shot me a friend request over there yet, link to my profile is down in the description below as well. But also, if you want to kind of support me a bit more, help me out, get some more beer in my hands, and possibly help me get more beer back to you guys, I do have a Patreon available where I do monthly 4-pack giveaways of Illinois exclusive craft beer. And who knows, you may see some Revolution brews show up on those 4-packs because they're local and I can get their stuff pretty good. So Revolution could be an option to show up on those monthly 4-packs that you can win. So if you want to support me that way, help me get more stuff out here for reviews, plus give back to you guys, that'll be greatly appreciated as well. Plus, I'm planning on a couple things with the Patreon as well when it comes to possibly having merch, glassware, all the kind of stuff available for the patrons. And then possibly doing a craft beer related Discord for the patrons as well, just kind of talk beer, chill, hang out, all that kind of stuff. So that kind of stuff is in the works, so I would definitely keep you guys updated when that becomes available so you can join at the specific time you want to join and all that kind of stuff. So other than that, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. Thank you everybody who's going to be watching the replay as well. And I'm going to end this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.